I was practically a slave to it. Addiction is something that you become a slave to. Till the time you're not slave to it, it's not addiction. But you don't know when that switch happens. That is the level of awareness you bring in your session. No craving at all. I mean, I still am amazed how that happened. Like last night, I was having a smoke. Morning, I get up and I don't want to smoke.
Hey everyone, my name is Sunny Job and I am a smoking cessation specialist. I help people get over smoking without any cravings or urges within a few conversations. And today I have with me Richa Sinha. She had reached out to me earlier this year in 2023. We had a couple of conversations and today I am glad to report that she's free from smoking. And more than that, she's actually doing the thing that she wants to do in life, she's always wanted to do. I would let her do all the talking because I'm just excited to have this chat with her. Richa, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm great, Sunny. It's a pleasure to be here.
And I'm so grateful to you for doing this. Oftentimes, people don't want to come up and talk about, hey, I got some help and I got relief. But it does take a lot of courage and also a lot of goodwill to do this. So thank you so much for doing this.
Most welcome. My pleasure to be here, as I said, Sunny. And I think if people can get that help from you, why not?
Thank you. So, Richa, what specifically do you do?
I have been into training for the past 20 years, different sorts of training. I've been into academics, I've been into soft skills training, I've been into behavioral training, I've been into managerial training, I've been into employability skills training.
Wow.
So, yes. And now my specialty is facilitation skills.
When you reached out to me, what wasn't working for you in terms of money, love, and health?
Nothing. I was into therapy. So as I tell everybody that I woke up just 3 years ago. My life wasn't doing that well. I wasn't doing that well. One day I realized 3 years ago that my brain is completely, needs a complete overhauling, and I need to fix things. I need to heal myself basically. So I started going to therapies. I started talking to some really good therapists and I started meeting them. But one thing that they helped me with everything else. But one thing they couldn't help me with was my smoking. I was in a bad shape. I would be smoking 10 to 20 cigarettes a day. And when I would be emotionally disturbed, my love life was all messed up. And when I would be in a pattern. So my entire life was in a pattern, moving around, in that same circle. So those circles were happening every time. There was this pattern of having a bad relationship. And I remember when I came to you, you asked me this very question. So what do you think is the pattern? क्या कहते हैं उसको? बिल्कुल deep dive करा हम लोगों ने उस area में.
Yes.
And then we found a lot of answers. I went to those memories which I did not even know existed. I think I was like 3.5, 4 years old. It went that deep. So that conversation was happening. So you were like the last person to set me free completely, where I could break off that cage that I was in. That was the journey till I met you.
Why did you hire me and why did you hire me when you did?
I still remembered I was sitting with a cigarette in my hand, scrolling through my Instagram, desperate how I could stop. Deep down, I knew there's something, there is a connection. I couldn't spell it out in my own, I couldn't read it aloud in my own mind. I was desperate that I need to get rid of this. I need to get rid of this addiction. I was practically a slave to it. So one day I was still scrolling and there you were, that calm voice. You were talking very, very slowly on that video. I don't know. Something just told me he's the right guy. My intuition said, yes, he's going to help me. He's the right person to get to. I trusted my gut. You can say that. And I reached out to you.
I remember when you called me, I literally thought that someone over 60, beg your pardon, but I thought it's an older lady who called me, right? Because you were coughing
Yes,
a lot.
I was suffering from severe COPD at that time. I would be coughing every 2-3 minutes. If you have that
Yeah,
still, if you
I
have that
remember that.
recording, I was in a bad shape. My throat used to hurt, my lungs used to hurt. As I told you, when I would be, in my emotional bad state of mind, and that, because of my love relationships, when I would be very, very upset, I would go to the extent of having 40 cigarettes a day. I was in a very bad state and I just couldn't control it, one after the other. And I remember when I would wake up, I would wake up the whole night crying and then the cigarette after another, and one cigarette after another, and one cigarette after another. When I would wake up in the morning, I would have a lot of pain in my stomach, and because of the acidity that had happened, and I remember taking lots of antacids to help me get rid of it. No cough syrup was working. My friends had told me that, you have to do something about the smoking, otherwise it's going to be fatal. The way things were moving. And so everyone out there, if you think that you're in a very bad shape, and I also I know this fear. I was in the same fear that maybe I'll die because I'm coughing so much. I was coughing so badly, so I used to think that maybe I'm going to die, or if I'm not going to change something, something will happen, and all these things. For all the people out there, please know this, that if you change this cycle, if you change this act, you can get rid of the coughing completely.
Yeah.
So that is possible. That is possible.
Yeah, you sound, and it is possible, and you sound so different compared to how I remember the first time I spoke to you. And you look different. Your overall demeanor has changed from the time we had the session. First, as you said, by the end of the session, you were already feeling that release. You had a huge amount of release. A lot of trapped emotions were there in you. I remember that as well. It came up, and we held that
So
space for you.
yeah, we just talked about this also a little while ago, and I was just sharing this with you that before the interview started, I remember my face, and I now, like, when I think back, all the pictures that I see of myself, they were very dark skin, everything was dark, and like it was all subdued, like some I had kind of subdued myself after that session. I mean, in that recording only, within that period of 2.5 hours, 3 hours, whatever it was, I remember, although my face was all bloated, I was because of my crying and all that. My eyes were all small little
Coffee,
eyes,
yeah,
puffy and everything. My nose was swollen, everything was swollen, but I was like shining. For
yeah.
somehow, it was like I was covered in some veil kind of thing, which kind of lifted, and I threw it off.
Wow.
Thanks to you.
Wow, it's amazing. And that was just amazing. Like you allowed yourself to go there. I remember in the middle of the session, you felt this sudden urge to want to smoke. And you were, I remember you pointing towards your throat and saying, there's a lot of pressure in my throat. I really want to smoke right now. But then we went from there to deep, deep, deep into your childhood. From there was, I still remember that session, very, very powerful one.
Yeah, and moreover, in that session, I remember I said, I want to smoke. He said, yeah, sure, go smoke.
Mm.
And you want to stop me? I said, you said, no, I'm not going to stop you. Go ahead. Suddenly, there was this very strange feeling that had happened. This I was anticipating now. This guy is going to tell me that kuch bhi ho jaye, chhod dena hai, and I have to go for self-controlling. The best part that happened in the first few days, actually, there was no craving at all. I mean, I still am amazed how that happened. Like last night, I was having a smoke. Morning, I get up and I don't want to smoke. I still remember that, that it was insane, absolutely insane. I would, for the past so many years, since 2001, I was smoking. Never had I had this moment, never. That I woke up and I didn't want to smoke. Never.
Mm.
And one day it just happened. And you didn't say, I said, can I smoke if I want to? You said, yeah, yeah, sure. Please go ahead. I didn't want to smoke. And that was something so strange for me, because normally if you go to a doctor and he'd say कि भाई आप दवाई ले लीजिएगा, आपको ये नहीं करना, ये नहीं करना, ये नहीं करना, ये नहीं करना. And here you were saying, I'm asking, can I smoke after that? If I feel like smoking, then you say, yeah, yeah, please go ahead, smoke. And you were so confident. That means that you knew the result. You could have told me, sweetheart, you try smoking, you won't want to smoke.
Yeah. Well, the idea is, of course, my the way from frame that I use is my clients are all powerful, and I want to see you become self-responsible, and so I'm never going to tell you what not to do and what to do. It's just, hey, yeah, if you want to smoke, go and do that. I want you to know that you are all powerful and you have all control over your life, and that's what you prove to yourself, right?
So, yes, addiction is something that you become a slave to. Till the time you're not slave to it, it's not addiction. But you don't know when that switch happens. That is the level of awareness you bring in your session. You make us realize that you are trapped I mean, we do feel whoever is coming to you obviously knows that, I'm in some kind of a trap where that person would feel stuck and loss of energy or whatever. Then you make us realize that why and how you are stuck. That is the best part. And yes, so the after effect of your, all this is all right. Like the smoking part is all right. The addiction is definitely not there now. The other things that happen, I am no more in that pattern of things.
Oh yeah,
I'm meeting the right kind of people.
beautiful.
Oh, this is some news to you. I didn't tell you this.
Ah, please, I'm all ears.
I'm meeting the right kind of people. No more of that messed up things. It doesn't hurt now. You know,
Hmm.
the kind of people that I was meeting and I used to cry for them. That doesn't really happen now. I'm okay. I understand. Even if I've been with someone who I know could not have made those choices for me, I don't, it's like I understand. Yeah, it's okay. And it's completely okay. It
Hmm.
doesn't kill me. And now I'm meeting the right kind of people who I deserve. I remember that line you used. What do you think you deserve? So meeting the kind of people I deserve. And it is getting better. Off the session, probably I'll tell you how it is getting better.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd love to hear more about that, Richa. But it's isn't it insane that you came to me for smoking related problem. We went into your childhood. By the time we came out, it's affecting your love life. Like who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Really, absolutely. If I can visualize it, I can see it like a pattern. You stuck in something and you are moving on to another thing and then another thing and then you making that same cycle and you don't know what you're doing wrong. I still remember there was this session with one of my ex therapists, and I'm still in touch with her. God bless her. She's a wonderful lady. But I used to often ask her, ma'am, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I would never get the answer. I mean, I would get some answer vaguely, but I don't know. The way you kind of took me deep into the session. Why I don't deserve this. Why am I getting men like this? Why am I being treated like this? I've come to this realization, Sunny, that it is never that log bure nahi hote hain. Your internal frame of mind is so messed up that you
Yes.
attract these people into your life.
Hmm.
You attract that energy of trapment is there, that entrapment is there, and you're attracting those kind of energies to yourself. So the law of attraction was really there and it is there. And I was attracting the wrong kind of people into my life. So once I broke free from that cage, I started attracting the right kind of people into my life. That shift has happened.
So would you say that smoking doesn't necessarily exist as a isolated problem in people's life, but it's
No,
connected, right?
no. It is so connected. It is so connected. See, after all this happened, I started reading a lot, especially about addiction and how people, why does anybody get addicted? Number one is the fact that you miss something and that vacuum is there. You want to fill it up with something. You want to occupy your mind, maybe with a cigarette or with alcohol, video games, anything could be an addiction. So that vacuum is there. So now I understand, like, previously I could never understand that why my son is always playing video games. Now I understand his perspective that there is some kind of vacuum which is there, which he is not wanting to see, and he's so that his thoughts don't go in that direction, he's occupying his mind with something else. So it could be any kind of addiction. It could be alcohol, it could be video games, it could be even I understand men now, like, who married men who would have multiple affairs.
Yeah.
They're running from one partner to the other, one partner to the other, and
Yeah.
they will never get. They at the end they would sit down saying, "Why me? मेरे साथ ही क्यों होता है ऐसे बुरे लोग मुझे ही क्यों मिलते हैं?" Because the answer is within us. So I have that understanding once I've seen that shift, and nothing has changed outside. It's just
Yeah.
that I'm attracting different people now.
Beautiful. So it's very well put, Richa. Like it's not isolated to one thing, and that's where I think a lot of smokers get that wrong. They think that, okay, somehow I'll take some patches, I'll take some gums, I'll take care of nicotine. And here
No.
you are, you're saying that, hey, next day I didn't feel like smoking. How do you even explain to all of these, oh, but it's nicotine addiction? How do you even explain that next day you don't have cravings? What happens to all the claims that the companies and the research make that nicotine is in your body and it is craving? And next morning you wake up, I don't feel like smoking. Like, how do you explain that? And it's all linked to all these areas.
Of course, it is linked, and Sunny, and moreover, the fact that there is so much that we don't know, right? We are just a speck of dust in the universe. There's so much we can't, our so capable minds can't even comprehend.
Hmm.
So if there are so many sciences which exist, we are not even, we can't even imagine, we can't even go there. If somebody is claiming that no, this 2 + 2 will always be 4, या ये दवाई खाने से ये होगा और इसका result ये होगा, that logical sequence is only existing in our mind, right? That really doesn't exist, because there is so much more in this vast universe. We don't know. I have seen miracles happen. I will call it a miracle because now I don't kill myself for this. है
Hmm.
पी रहे लोग पी रहे हैं. It is not an addiction anymore. I have full control. The power is in me now.
There you go.
पहले the stub had the power.
There you go. Exactly. Exactly. The power is in you. And that's a shift that I love to see in my clients. Know that to bring them back to the realization that, hey, you've always been in control. You are the one who's creating this. And so that's to waking up to that reality. The power is in you. That's amazing. And so I'm compelled to ask you this question now. So, what is my specific genius? You mentioned you worked with people and they were able to get you close. It was vagueness, but you didn't get that clarity. So, what was my specific genius according to you? And what do you love about our sessions that we had?
So I used to think that, it will be some kind of, for this kind of a session, I'll be taken into deep hypnotic therapy. Surprisingly, you asked very logical questions, consequential, sequential questions. And I was like, ये मुझे hypnotherapy में कब लेके? I think I asked you this question. Are you going to
When
hypnotize
will,
me or something? Yeah, when will you do that?
when will you start? When will you start?
But you were just simply asking, and you were just, if I can describe you in objects.
Yeah,
So you were that razor sharp knife which just sliced inside the toughest layers of my brain.
oh, beautiful.
So this was the genius. This is the genius that you have. I
Mm,
think I think reaching out, so actually, and why I say a knife and nothing else, like, no, I'm not making it a soft approach. No, you're not soft. You are harsh. You are brutally honest. You are brutally harsh, and you just reach deep dives right to the root. You're not going here or there or like other kind of therapies that I've seen. No.
well, that was heavy for me. Thanks for being brutally honest with me. Yeah, I yeah, exactly what I learned from my mentor as well. Like, be sharp, but at the same time, do it with a lot of love. It's coming from a space of love and safety.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
another example of this sentence that you say, you would take me really hard and harsh down, and then all of a sudden I would cry, take your time. Take your time. I'm right here with you. This is a safe space. And I'd be, okay, I'm good. Everything good. He's there, I'm there. Everything's good.
and you did good, didn't you?
That is needed. But that is needed with the kind of empathy that you had for me, along with this brutality of honesty. We don't face it. We were addicts, right? We don't face that reality. We don't face that reality. We don't want to see beyond things. Generally, smoking is taken up by men, right? Generally, it is
In
seen.
general, yeah.
Men are supposed to act tough. Men don't cry, right? Men don't have problems. मेरे साथ कुछ बुरा हो ही नहीं सकता है. And even if they've suffered like hell and crazy, they will never admit this. So I think, but with you, I think the toughest of nuts would crack. Put it like that. They will realize how badly they need it. So this is why I would like to say this to all the people, especially men who are out there, boys, men, that a gum or a patch won't help. unless you reach to the bottom of it,
Yeah.
unless you get down to the deep end of it.
Yeah.
It is just all these things are just, superficial remedies that will help you a little, and then again, it'll take you back to the same depth.
Yeah.
With this kind of therapy, I feel that even if they go back, worst case scenario, it won't be as bad as what they used to be.
Yeah.
That is one thing I can write down and guarantee this, Sunny.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, because you're working on the root and you're not no longer working on the surface level. That's where the passion
And not,
becomes
yeah,
work.
that's the superficial, very superficial.
Mm. What would you tell the people who are sitting on the fence about hiring me right now, Richa?
Hi, button click karo, call karo, aaj hi. And your life is gonna change. I'm guaranteeing you that. I mean, not only you'll have that grip over your control factor, you might be getting free. That is one part of it. Uska jo side effect hota hai na, I would recommend people more for that because you will be opening so many doors you don't even know that exist. You will be seeing a new shift. You will be seeing a completely new you, a new, more powerful you. So call up this guy. Sunny Job is our man.
Thanks, Richard. And speaking of all the new doors opening, I remember, in fact, when you signed up, I had no idea besides what you do as in your profession as a trainer. I had no idea that you also are an entrepreneur and you created something amazing. And a lot of your energy was trapped in the patterns that you were stuck in. So you're not giving a lot of your energy and your thought to,
Procrastination.
yeah, you're
A
procrastinating
lot of it.
on your baby, I would say, right? This is something which you made. So, guys who are watching, Richa has also formulated her own product, which helps with anti-aging, really helpful skin oil, which has an amazing fragrance. And she was kind enough to send me the samples of this product. And one of my friends who was visiting me saw that. I just shared some of my oil with him. He loved it so much. Then he started taking. He said, dude, I'm addicted to your product. That's what he's telling me. He's like, I'm addicted to this thing. What is this stuff? I said, well, it's custom made. You won't get it in the market. It's not there on Amazon. They're like, so I'm using yours. I said, no, my sample is getting over. If you want, I'll give you Richa's number. And he talked to her and ordered. So he ordered one from you directly. So what I am amazed at is that imagine like you continuing on that journey, being stuck in the pattern for another few years, maybe like 15 years, 20 years. What would happen to that baby of yours? What would happen to that product of yours? Mask. Like the name of the product is Mask. And now you're moving ahead in strategies to make it available to larger masses. So how do you feel about that?
So, yeah, my baby.
There it is.
I carried a bottle. I don't know if you can see it or not, but
Yeah.
I was sitting on this product for 5 years. I made this. I used to use it on myself. My friends would often ask me, Richa, give me some sample, no, make it for me. And whoever I gave used to love it. And they used to keep coming for more because this was a perfume body oil. And nothing like this is in the market. And I would use it for myself. And there would people who would come to me and say that, please give it to me. And I would keep on making it for them. Acha bhai bana deti hu. Acha bhai bana. So till one day my son said that, Mom, why don't you sell it? You have such amazing skin. You have such good fragrance all the time. You're smelling so well. Why don't you just market it? Why don't you just sell it? This coincided between the dates, our session dates. And I said, oh, yes, I can do this. If he would have told me a few days back, probably I would be so drowned in my own sorrows and that pattern of behavior that I would have never seen an opportunity there. But because the door opened, the thing I just talked about, I could see such a huge, massive opportunity. And that is it. I have zero doubts that anything wrong is going to happen. I'm so positive. I'm getting, by God's grace, I'm getting so many good reviews about it. Damask perfume body oil. That wouldn't have happened if you didn't take that session that day.
It wouldn't have happened had you not released what has been holding you back, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so that's exactly what I tell my clients as well, that smoking is just a painkiller. Instead of trying to keep the pain going on with the painkiller, why not go and understand what's beneath that pain? Once we got to that and we released that, your energy was opened up, and now you're doing all of these things, and you're just beginning your journey in this entrepreneurial journey. And I can see you going really big because your product really is a winner. Like I, as a personal user, I feel it's amazing. My partner is coming down in the next few days from Australia, so I've kept her sample intact. I'm going to hand it over to her. And here we have my friend who's been using that for the last 2 weeks. He loves it. And I think you've got a client for a lifetime here.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Wouldn't have been possible without you, Sunny. I feel that so
Yeah.
there's a theory, although I won't share much of it on this platform, but there are 1,999, 1,49,000 people who are sent as angels. And I think you're one of them. Keep
Uh,
doing a good job.
thank
Keep
you.
doing a good job. And especially, I want to even talk about the part which is not so professional. But after that, you've been more of a friend to me. You have guided me no matter what, without any charge. I could call you up for help anytime. You've been such a dear friend. I mean, it's not about money for you, for sure. It's not about that. Your mission, your cause, your passion for your work is speaking volumes to me, and I'm sure everybody who works with you. You're an amazing person and an amazing friend. Thank you so much for being there in my life.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I receive all your kind words with a lot of gratitude. Thank you so much, Richa. And I would like to conclude this interview now by wishing you all the best for whatever you're doing in your life, with your business, with your love life, and the rest of your journey. I'm super excited to see where you go on from here. And the plane has just took off. So all the best to you wherever you decide to fly and land.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sunny. And all the best to you too. May you get loads and loads of people who can have so many stories to share.
Ah, thank you. Thank you.
May they have so many stories to share with you and so much inspiration. God bless you so much, Sunny.
Thanks, Richa. Thank you so much.
And moreover, मैं तो ये सोचती हूँ कि the people who are around those people, you know, those bichare passive smokers will be blessing you so bad, so much in advance. Yeah, they will be giving you all sorts of blessings.
Yeah, well, thank you.